The discovery. The stars were cold and silent in the outer rim. Captain Zarek of the Krylon Empire stood on his command deck, watching the small human colony below. His forearms crossed with confidence. His eyes glowed with victory. "These humans are so weak," he said to his crew. "Look at them. They have no weapons, no shields, nothing." The other Krylon warriors laughed. They had heard stories about humans. Everyone in the galaxy knew humans were cowards. They ran from every fight. They begged for mercy. They were the weakest species in known space. "Sir, the human colony is sending a message," said the communications officer. "Let me hear it." Zarek commanded. A human voice came through the speakers. It was shaking with fear. "Please, don't attack us. We have families here, children. We mean no harm." More laughter filled the command deck. Zarek smiled, showing his sharp teeth. "Pathetic. These creatures are not warriors. They are insects." For 3 years, the Krylon Empire had been attacking human colonies. Every time the humans retreated, they abandoned their homes. They escaped in their slow ships. They never fought back. "Begin the attack," Zarek ordered. Krylon warships moved forward. Their weapons powered up. The human colony had no chance. But then something strange happened. 5 human ships appeared from behind the planet. They were small and old. Their hulls were damaged. They looked ready to fall apart. "Sir, human ships are approaching," the tactical officer reported. Zarek laughed harder. "Only 5 ships? Are they trying to be heroes?" The human ships fired a few weak shots at the Krylon fleet. The shots bounced off the shields without causing any damage. Then the human ships turned around and ran away. "They're retreating, sir," the officer said. "Of course they are," Zarek replied. "Follow them. I want to destroy every last one. Send a message to all humans in this sector. Tell them the Krylon Empire does not forgive weakness." The Krylon fleet chased after the human ships. 20 massive warships against 5 tiny vessels. It was not even a fair fight. The human ships flew deeper into space, away from the trade routes, away from the colonies, into the dark, empty void where no one ever traveled. "Sir, they're leading us into uncharted territory," the navigation officer warned. "I don't care," Zarek said. "Follow them. I want to watch them die." The chase continued for 2 hours. The human ships stayed just out of weapon range. They were fast, but they couldn't escape. The Krylon fleet was faster. Finally, the human ships stopped. They floated in the darkness of space. Around them was nothing. No planets, no stars. Just empty black void. "They have nowhere to run now," Zarek said with satisfaction. "Destroy them." The Krylon weapons charged. The targeting systems locked on. Victory was certain. But then the sensors started beeping. "Sir, I'm detecting something," the tactical officer said. His voice was confused. "There are structures out there. Lots of them." "Structures? What kind of structures?" Zarek demanded. "I don't know, sir. They're huge, and they're everywhere. The sensors say there are thousands of them." "No, wait. Hundreds of thousands." Zarek looked at the main screen. Slowly, shapes began to appear in the darkness. Massive shapes. They had been there all along, floating in the void, silent, dark, invisible. They looked ancient. Their metal was old and cold. They were covered in dust from 10,000 years of sleep. Each structure was enormous, 50 kilometers long. They looked like ships, but ships from a forgotten age. "What are these things?" Zarek whispered. "Sir, my scans show they are inactive," the science officer said. "They have no power, no life signs. They must be ancient ruins, perhaps from a dead civilization." Zarek relaxed slightly. "Just old junk. Ignore them. Focus on the human ships." But then something happened that made everyone freeze. One by one, the ancient structures began to wake up. Lights appeared on their hulls. Red lights. Thousands of them. Then thousands became millions. The darkness was pushed away by an ocean of crimson glow. The structures were not dead. They were sleeping. And now they were waking up. "Sir," the sensor officer shouted in panic. "They're powering up. All of them. There are 800,000 of these ships. 800,000. The number was impossible. No empire in the galaxy had that many ships. Not even close." Zarek's skin turned pale. "Where did they come from?" Then a human voice spoke. It was calm, strong, not afraid anymore. "You should not have come here, Krylon. You woke something that should have stayed asleep. You woke humanity's true face. All 800,000 ancient dreadnoughts turned their weapons toward the Krylon fleet. The hunt had become a trap. The ancient fleet awakens. The Krylon command deck was silent. Every warrior stared at their screens in horror. 800,000 massive ships surrounded them. The ancient dreadnoughts glowed red in the darkness like angry eyes opening after a long sleep. Captain Zarek's hands were shaking. This is impossible. No one has this many ships. No one. His tactical officer's voice cracked with fear. Sir, each ship is 50 kilometers long. Their power readings are... I've never seen anything like this. Each one has more firepower than our entire fleet. Run full scans. Zarek shouted. Tell me these are just old wrecks. Tell me they cannot fight. The science officer worked frantically on his console. His four eyes were wide with terror. Sir, the scans show these ships are fully operational. Their reactors are online. Their weapons are charging. They have full power. Zarek felt his blood turn cold. How is this possible? These ships look 10,000 years old. They are 10,000 years old, Captain, a human voice answered. Everyone turned to the main screen. A human face appeared. He was an older man with gray hair and calm eyes. He wore a dark uniform with strange symbols. Behind him, the bridge of an ancient ship glowed with power. I am Admiral Chen of the Human Defense Fleet, the man said. Or rather, the fleet you were never supposed to see. Zarek found his voice. Who are you? Where did these ships come from? Admiral Chen smiled, but there was no warmth in it. These ships have always been here, waiting, watching. For 10,000 years, they have floated in the dark places of space, hidden, silent. We hoped we would never need to wake them. You're lying. Zarek shouted. Humans are weak. Everyone knows this. You run from every fight. Yes, we do run, Chen agreed. We run because we choose to. We retreat because we want to. We hide our strength because we learned a terrible lesson long ago. The Admiral's face became serious. Let me tell you a story, Captain Zarek. A story your empire should have learned before attacking us. The screen changed. It showed images of ancient Earth, cities that reached into the sky, ships that filled the stars, armies beyond counting. 10,000 years ago, humanity was not weak, Chen continued. We were the strongest empire in this galaxy. We had conquered 1,000 worlds. We had defeated every enemy. Our technology was beyond anything you can imagine. Zarek watched the images in disbelief. The ancient humans looked powerful, advanced. Nothing like the scared colonists he had been attacking. We were warriors, Chen said. The best warriors this galaxy had ever seen. We built these 800,000 dreadnoughts. Each one could destroy a planet. Together they could end all life in the galaxy. Then what happened? Zarek asked quietly. Chen's face filled with old sadness. We won every war. We defeated every enemy. And then, we had no one left to fight except ourselves. The screen showed images of destruction. Human worlds burning. Billions dying. The dreadnoughts fighting each other in terrible battles. We turned our weapons on each other, Chen explained. Brother fought brother. Colony fought colony. The war lasted 300 years. Half of humanity died. Beautiful worlds became graveyards. The Krylon crew watched in silence. When the war finally ended, the survivors made a choice. Chen continued. We took these 800,000 dreadnoughts and hid them. We scattered them across the galaxy in places no one would look. We turned off their power. We let them sleep in the darkness. Why? Zarek asked. Why hide such power? Because we were tired of war, Chen answered. We wanted to see if the galaxy could have peace. We wanted to know if other species could be better than us. So we pretended to be weak. We ran from fights. We let others think we were cowards. Admiral Chen leaned forward. His eyes were hard now. We gave the galaxy 10,000 years to prove it could live in peace without fear of humanity's power. And did we pass your test? Zarek asked, though he already knew the answer. Chen shook his head slowly. No, Captain, you failed. For 3 years your empire has attacked our colonies. You killed our people. You destroyed our homes. You thought we were weak, so you hunted us like animals. The Admiral stood up. Behind him, the ancient bridge began to glow brighter. You were wrong, Captain Zarek. Humans were never weak. We were just patient. We were waiting to see if we needed these ships again. Zarek's voice was desperate now. Admiral, please. We didn't know. If you had known, you would have feared us, Chen interrupted. But you should not have needed fear to stop you from killing innocent people. You should have had honor. You should have had mercy. The Admiral touched a control on his chair. Across the void of space, every dreadnought responded. Their massive weapons began to rotate. 800,000 ships moved into attack formation. No. Please, Zarak begged. One of the dreadnoughts near the Krylon fleet moved forward. It was close enough now that it blocked out the stars. Its main weapon was as large as Zarak's entire flagship. The weapon began to glow. Energy built up inside it. The charging sound grew louder and louder. Admiral Chen, Zarak screamed. Don't do this! We surrender, please. The weapon was almost fully charged. The light was blinding. Everyone on the Krylon bridge covered their eyes. Chen's voice was the last thing they heard. The galaxy needs to remember what humanity truly is. The weapon reached full power. The screen went white. The message to the galaxy. The white light filled every screen on the Krylon command deck. Captain Zarak closed his eyes and waited for death. His crew held their breath. The sound of the charging weapon grew louder and louder until it became almost unbearable. And then, silence. Zarak opened his eyes, slowly. He was still alive. His ship was still intact. The weapon had not fired. On the main screen, Admiral Chen sat calmly in his chair. His hand was still on the firing control, but he had not pressed it. Why? Zarak whispered. Why didn't you fire? Chen looked at him with tired eyes. Because killing you would be easy, Captain. And humanity has had enough of easy solutions. The Admiral stood up and walked closer to the screen. I could destroy your entire fleet right now. 20 ships would vanish in seconds. It would take only one shot from one dreadnought. But what would that teach you? Zarak didn't answer. He was too confused and too afraid. It would teach you to fear us, Chen continued. But fear alone does not create peace. Fear only creates more war. We learned this lesson 10,000 years ago. We will not forget it now. Chen touched another control. The massive weapon slowly powered down. The blinding light faded. The charging sound stopped. I am going to let you live, Captain Zarak, Chen said. But you will do something for me. You will return to your empire. You will go to your emperor. You will tell him what you saw here today. Tell him. What exactly? Zarak asked carefully. Admiral Chen's expression became hard as stone. Tell him that humanity is not what he thinks. Tell him about these 800,000 dreadnoughts. Tell him that we have been hiding our true strength for 10,000 years. The screen changed again. It showed Earth's ancient history. Not the wars this time, but the empire before the wars. 10,000 years ago, humanity ruled half this galaxy, Chen explained. We had 5,000 colonized worlds. We had the most advanced technology. We had weapons that could destroy suns. We had ships that could cross the galaxy in days. Images showed the ancient human empire at its peak. Massive space stations, planetary shields, weapons beyond imagination. We were not just strong, Captain. We were unstoppable. Every species that challenged us was defeated. Every war we fought, we won. We were the apex predators of this galaxy. Zarak felt sick. His empire had thought humans were prey, but they had been wrong. Humans were the hunters who had chosen to hide their claws. Why did you stop? He asked. Why did you give up all that power? Chen's face filled with deep sadness. Because power without wisdom is a curse. We became so strong that the only worthy enemy left was ourselves. So we fought each other. The screen showed the terrible civil war again. Human fleets destroying human worlds. Billions dead. Entire star systems turned to ash. The war lasted 300 years, Chen continued. It ended only when both sides were exhausted. When half of humanity was dead. When hundreds of worlds were uninhabitable. When we finally realized that our power had made us into monsters. The Admiral's voice became quieter. The survivors gathered on Earth. We held a great council. We asked ourselves a question. Could we ever have peace while holding such terrible power? What was the answer? Zarak asked. We decided to hide our weapons and pretend to be weak, Chen said. We took these 800,000 dreadnoughts and scattered them across the galaxy. We placed them in dark corners where no one would find them. We gave them skeleton crews and put them to sleep. But why pretend to be weak? Zarak asked. Why not just use your power to enforce peace? Chen smiled sadly. Because peace enforced by fear is not real peace. It is just slavery with a different name. We wanted to see if the galaxy could learn to live without a master. We wanted to see if species could respect each other without threat of destruction. The Admiral's expression changed. The sadness was replaced by anger. For 10,000 years we watched and waited. We let other empires rise. We let them think they were the strongest. We retreated from fights. We abandoned colonies. We let you all believe we were cowards. Chen's voice grew stronger. We wanted to believe the galaxy could be better than us. We wanted to believe that wisdom could exist without war. But you proved us wrong, Captain Zarek. The Krylon Empire is not alone, Chen continued. For 3 years, 5 different empires have been attacking human space. The Krylon, the Vrex, the Tholian Collective, the Zarn Union, and the Helix Confederation. All of you saw our weakness and decided to take what you wanted. Zarek's heart sank. If humanity was angry at all 5 empires, you thought we were easy prey, Chen said. You were wrong, and now the galaxy will learn the truth. Admiral Chen pressed several controls on his chair. Around the Krylon fleet, the 800,000 dreadnoughts began to move. They moved with terrible purpose. They moved like ancient beasts waking from a long sleep. What? What are you doing? Zarak asked in horror. These ships are not staying here, Captain, Chen answered. They are going to visit your homeworld, and the homeworlds of the other 4 empires. They will not attack. They will just appear in orbit. They will block out your suns. They will fill your skies. The dreadnoughts began to form into groups. Each group had thousands of ships. They were organizing themselves into fleets. You cannot do this, Zarek shouted. Our empire has billions of people. You will cause panic. Our economy will collapse. There will be chaos. Yes, Chen agreed. There will be fear. There will be chaos. Your people will look up and see death hanging in their sky. They will understand what it means to be truly helpless. Please, Zarek begged. Our people are innocent. They didn't order the attacks. Neither did our colonists, Chen replied coldly. Neither did the children you killed. Neither did the families you destroyed. The dreadnoughts began to power up their jump drives. Space around them started to bend and twist. Return to your empire, Captain Zarek, Admiral Chen commanded. Tell your emperor what is coming. Tell him that humanity's patience has ended. Tell him that the sleeping giant has awakened. The first group of dreadnoughts vanished in flashes of light. They were jumping to Krylon space. Wait, Zarek screamed. What do you want? What must we do? Admiral Chen looked at him one last time. You will do nothing. You will wait. You will watch. And you will learn what it means to live under someone else's power. More dreadnoughts jumped away. Thousands at a time, heading to all 5 empires. The galaxy wanted to know if humanity was weak, Chen said. Now the galaxy will learn the truth. We were never weak, Captain. We were just sleeping, and you should never have woken us up. The screen went black. Captain Zarek stood alone on his command deck. Around him his crew was silent with shock. Above them, the last of the dreadnoughts prepared to jump. In the darkness of space, the ancient fleet was moving. 800,000 ships were heading to 5 different empires. Not to destroy them, but to make them understand fear. The hunt had ended. The lesson was about to begin. Humanity's final warning. The Krylon homeworld had never known darkness in the daytime. 3 suns lit their sky with golden light. But today the light was gone. Emperor Vorth stood on his palace balcony and looked up. His hands gripped the rail with fear. Above him the sky was black. Not with clouds, not with night, but with ships, human ships, thousands of them. Each one was 50 kilometers long. They covered the entire sky like a metal ceiling. The 3 suns were completely blocked. The whole planet lived in shadow. How many? The Emperor asked his advisor. 160,000 ships, Your Majesty, the advisor answered with a shaking voice. They arrived 2 hours ago. They appeared all at once. Our defense fleet tried to engage them, but what? Vorth demanded. They did nothing, sire. The human ships just ignored our attacks. Our weapons cannot even scratch their shields. They just sit there, waiting. Vorth looked at the reports on his data pad. The same thing was happening across the entire empire. Every major world had human dreadnoughts in orbit. Every colony was covered in shadow. Billions of Krylon people were looking up at the sky in terror. Has Captain Zarek returned? Vorth asked. Yes, Your Majesty. He arrived an hour ago. He is waiting to speak with you. Send him in. Captain Zarek entered the throne room. He looked like he had aged 10 years. His face was pale. His hands trembled. "Tell me everything," Emperor Vorth commanded. Zarek told his story. He described the trap, the 800,000 ancient ships, Admiral Chen's words, the history of humanity's empire, the terrible civil war, the choice to hide their power. When he finished, the throne room was silent. 10,000 years, Vorth whispered. "They have been pretending for 10,000 years." "Yes, Your Majesty," Zarek confirmed. "And we woke them up." Across the galaxy, the same scene was happening in 4 other empires. The Vrex Queen watched human ships block her world's sun. The Tholian collective's hive mind felt fear for the first time in centuries. The Zarn Union's council argued desperately about what to do. The Helix Confederation's warlords realized they had made a terrible mistake. All 5 empires had attacked humanity. All 5 empires were now helpless beneath a sky of steel. On the Krylon homeworld, the communication systems suddenly activated. Every screen in every city showed the same image. Admiral Chen's face appeared on billions of displays at once. "People of the Krylon Empire," Chen began. His voice was calm but powerful. "I am Admiral Chen of the Human Defense Fleet. I am speaking not just to you, but to all 5 empires that have attacked human colonies over the past 3 years. Emperor Vorth watched from his throne. Across the planet, billions of Krylon people stopped what they were doing and listened. "You have seen the ships above your worlds," Chen continued. "You know they are real. You know they have the power to destroy you. 160,000 ships orbit the Krylon homeworld. Similar fleets orbit the capitals of the Vrex, Tholian, Zarn, and Helix empires." The screen showed images of all 5 empires. Each one had thousands of human dreadnoughts in their skies. "You must be wondering why we have not attacked," Chen said. "Why we have not fired our weapons. Why we just sit here and wait." The Admiral leaned forward. "It is because we do not want war. Humanity has seen enough war. We have killed enough. We have destroyed enough. 10,000 years ago, we almost destroyed ourselves because we loved war too much." Images of the ancient human civil war appeared. The destruction, the death, the waste. "We hid our power because we wanted peace," Chen explained. "We pretended to be weak because we wanted to see if the galaxy could learn to live without violence. We gave you 10,000 years to prove you could be better than we were." The Admiral's expression became hard. "You failed that test. You saw weakness and you attacked. You killed innocent people. You destroyed homes. You took what you wanted because you thought no one could stop you." On the Krylon homeworld, people hung their heads in shame. They had celebrated the victories against human colonies. They had laughed at human weakness. Now they understood the truth. "But we can stop you," Chen continued. "These 800,000 ships can destroy your worlds in minutes. We could end your civilizations before your sun sets today. But we will not do that." Hope flickered in Emperor Vorth's chest. "We will not destroy you because that would make us the monsters we used to be," Chen said. "We will not kill billions of innocent people for the crimes of their leaders. That is not justice. That is just revenge." The Admiral stood up from his chair. Behind him, the bridge of the ancient dreadnought glowed with power. "Instead, we are giving you a choice," Chen announced. "A choice that will determine the future of this galaxy." Every being in 5 empires held their breath. "You can choose war," Chen said. "You can try to fight us. You can gather your fleets and your weapons and attempt to drive us away. If you make this choice, we will show you the full power of these dreadnoughts. We will show you why we ruled this galaxy 10,000 years ago, and your empires will cease to exist." The screen showed a simulation. Human weapons firing, planets burning, fleets destroyed in seconds. It was not a threat. It was a promise. "Or you can choose peace," Chen continued. His voice softened slightly. "Real peace. Not peace through fear, but peace through respect. You can agree to honor the borders of all species. You can agree to protect the weak instead of attacking them. You can agree to settle disputes with words instead of weapons." Images of cooperation appeared. Different species working together, trading, learning, growing. "If you choose peace, these ships will leave," Chen promised. "Not all of them. We will leave 1,000 dreadnoughts in each of your systems. They will orbit your worlds, not as conquerors but as watchers, as reminders." "Reminders of what?" Emperor Vorth whispered. As if hearing him, Chen answered. Reminders that strength without wisdom is worthless. Reminders that the weak deserve protection, not exploitation. Reminders that humanity is watching. Always watching. The Admiral's face filled the screen. You have 24 hours to decide. Your leaders will meet on neutral ground. You will discuss this offer. You will make your choice together. Chen's expression became gentle, almost sad. I hope you choose peace. I truly do. Humanity does not want to be the monster in your nightmares. We do not want to rule you. We do not want your worlds or your resources. We just want to be left alone to live in peace. But if you choose war, his voice hardened again, then you will learn why the galaxy feared us 10,000 years ago. And this time, we will not stop until every empire that threatens innocent life is gone. The screen changed one last time. It showed Earth, beautiful, green, peaceful. The home world of humanity. We chose peace after our terrible war, Chen said quietly. We chose to hide our power and live simply. We chose to believe the galaxy could be better. We gave you 10,000 years to prove us right. His final words echoed across 5 empires. Don't make us regret giving you that chance. The screen went black. Above the Krylon home world, the Dreadnoughts remained, silent, waiting, watching. Emperor Vorth looked out at his shadow-covered planet. He thought about his choices. He thought about the future. In 24 hours, the galaxy would decide, war or peace, destruction or cooperation, fear or wisdom. Humanity had been patient for 10,000 years. They had hidden their strength. They had endured insults and attacks. They had waited for the galaxy to be ready for peace. Now the waiting was over. The sleeping giant had awakened, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The end.